So we just talked about the effect panel, but let's talk about time remapping and keyframe, because we will need to work a lot with keyframes inside DaVinci Resolve if you want to create automation with the transformation, the composite, or everything that sits on the editing timeline or in the color section. Into DaVinci Resolve, when you select one clip or another, you have all their data, their transformation data right there. And if you're not seeing this, it's just popping out from the Inspector tool. So if I'm changing something into this clip, let's say I'm zooming in and I'm gonna press to another clip, obviously these will change because I'm looking at the transformation from one clip to another. If we want to reset these parameters, I have this little arrow for each one of these. If I'm doing different changes and I want to change them all, there is this little guy with the plus and everything will change. If I want to animate them, I have these little things, the little diamonds that are keyframes. Let's say that I want to make a transformation from this part of the image to maybe the end, this part of the image. I will have to, stop by when I want to make the transformation to start, and just press at this little diamond whenever I want to make the change here in the zoom and in the position, and then going to the final part, maybe there. I want to zoom out just a bit and replace my position there. By pressing these little, arrows, I could jump between my two already placed keyframe, and by pressing play, I can see that all my automation are taking effect. If I want to see them manually, I can press there, and here they are. And if I want to see them into this transformation scheme, I can show how much efficiency is working between one keyframe to another. If I want a smooth transition, I have to select them and just press the smooth transition, and everything will come up in a more smoother way. And I can even accentuate this. As you can see, everything is changing also there. And that way I can change the curve. And yeah, everything is customizable there. If I want to add a keyframe, I can just press there. It will add a keyframe. Obviously I've done a pretty strong effect here, so I have to play it cool, maybe in that way. Okay. And yeah, working with keyframes is pretty easy. If I want to change from the zoom and going to the position, I have to press that little arrow there. Add the zoom in the epsilon. Or I can see, I don't know, all difference in the rotation. Maybe I want to make a little different in my rotation, so I'll put my one keyframe there and another one there. Maybe doing this little change and just randomizing them, but you can say from there that it's pretty easy to work with keyframes from that little transformation tool, or if you want even from the timeline. You just have to choose. And basically keyframes are playing a really good part when you are editing, because this one works great for transformation or for time remapping. I said transformation, but actually you can use it for almost everything, like opacity. Maybe I want to, I don't know why, but maybe I want to create a fade out effect with the opacity, maybe from there to there, going to 0. And maybe I want it smooth. I'm gonna select them and just pressing this little curve so it will be smoother. Maybe I want to jump on one effect or another, just to press this little arrow. And if I want to close this little, part of the editing room, I have just to play like this and press and repress this too. If I want to play with time remapping, or if I want to change the time of this clip, I have just to press R. And by pressing R, I will open this change clip speed windows. This basically helps me to choose how much I want to change the speed of my clip, if I want to change it into this percentual method, if I want to change it based on frames per second, if I want to freeze my frame, reverse the speed, and by doing this, if I want to maintain the timing or stretch to fit, and everything will change right there. I can also press on my retime controls or the retime curve. The retime curve is the exactly same thing. If I want to change my time by time, I can add keyframes and change time during, during the playhead on the timeline. I can also deselect this and change the clip duration. I can open the retime control. That is pretty different from pressing R. Pressing R will be like change the clip speed, and the retime control will show up the speed change directly in my timeline. I have a 100% clip right there. I can press there and change how fast it is. I can also place speed points, even more than one. And if I want to do speed ramps, this one is great because I can say, okay, start to 100%, and from there, changing it that way, from there, I can, making this faster, maybe at 115, don't know why, but maybe you want to do that. And then making it a normal speed when it comes back there. Maybe you may need it. Maybe you need this even by slowing this up. We can reset the clip. There is also a wind option, the speed ramp option from 0 or to 0 that will start from 10% to 100%. We don't need that right now. And you can customize all of those little things always by using keyframes and by going down on the inspector tool. So maybe I want to change it. This is 100, and as we've done previously, 150 from there, and then 100 from here. So after that, I can just close it by repressing Command R, and on the keyframe, I will have it on the speed, on the retime frame, and yeah, everything sits there. It's pretty basic. You can do that even manually. If you want to smooth that retime frame, you can just take this and decide just to make it smoother. You can do it. And yeah, keyframes are essential if you want to animate your grading or animate your edit, because obviously we focus on different programs, different editing programs, on making speed ramps, on making variation with keyframes, and we have to focus on DaVinci Resolve that this tool is usable also with colors. Maybe you want to change color, and by the way, we're gonna see that on another lesson, but maybe you want to change the power of color tool. Maybe you want to emphasize the gain of one node or for one color. We may need that. Maybe we want to make a crop in, I don't know, in a certain moment of the frame. Maybe you want to, I don't know, start to crop the bottom of the top from there to there. Maybe, I don't know, want to make a drama thing. Obviously right now we made that a little rotation, so it will be pretty weird by the way, but yeah, you want to do something like that, you can use keyframe for almost everything, and you can customize how they come up into your image, how you want them to be from there. You can also press on there here directly on this little part, and you can just say if you want to have them linear or with an is in, the same way as doing it manually. And yeah, that's the exact same thing that you could do on other program. It's pretty different because if you don't know that, it's not that easy to find that little dots, and knowing that everything that you do here it's already there. And yeah, by the way, it's pretty simple. Remember always that if you're changing different things, if you are playing with the transformation, with the time, you just have to press that little down arrow and it will show you up everything from opacity to all your transformation or your lens corrector or the speed ramps, and everything you're doing is there. So just try to make few tries with your timeline. So just play with the blue timeline. Maybe you want to slow down some of this part, maybe you want to speed up some of this part. But yeah, the fast thing for a shortcut is pressing R. Pressing R is the fastest thing if you want to take few clips and just change the speed or reverse them. That's the fastest way. And obviously for the other thing, if you want to have it managed in another way, with time controls, it's Command R, super fast. And yeah, or the clip duration, that is super handy if you already know that this clip must be like 6 seconds, and you can be really accurate. Yeah, once again, keyframes are great. Just try to manage them in the best way. Try to be super clean using them. It's super handy having these arrows, because you are super sure to be on one keyframe that you placed. Sometimes you might have come to the most common error of like placing one keyframe on the frame before or on the frame after, and you're like, why it's not coming as I wish. With these little arrows you can just jump from one keyframe to another, being super clean. If you want to erase them, obviously with erase, with delete, you can delete them. And yeah, that's all about keyframes on the editing part. Just try to use them as you wish, and they will help you out achieving the best editing.